So hello, today we're at the Suffolk Military Show and we're going to have a look around at the reenactments here. It's a bit of a blustery day, but we'll do our best to capture everything. So this gentleman's going to explain this grenade launcher on an EY Enfield rifle.
Are you a badly behaved child?
Okay, yeah, if you could...
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning. Quick explanation of the EY rifle. The SMLE grenade launching rifle was developed in the First World War, issued to the Home Guard in the Second World War. You were classified as a bomber. You carried an EY rifle, which is a standard SMLE rifle, worn out one. It was bound each end and bolted through the stock to carry a ballistite charge and a half blank cartridge. You then attached your grenade launcher to the end of it. You put your grenade into the launcher. This is a real one, so it's actually deactivated. You have to have a deactivation certificate. You pulled the pin, you then thumped the butt into the ground and you fired it with your thumb.
Oh,
if you put it anywhere near your shoulder, you will break your shoulder.
No good.
So yeah, so the grenade would be placed into the launcher as so. The pin would be pulled, the clip will be held by the launcher itself, so that the fuse in the grenade would be a 7-second fuse. 4 seconds for hand throwing, 7 seconds for grenade launching. As a Home Guard bomber, you're classified as a bomber. You'll carry the EY rifle, 20 grenades in a bag, and your kit.
Oh, okay, that's quite a lot.
Absolutely. After I do the flag raise,
because
I've got to raise the flag.
Yeah, of course you can.
Is he? When you're ready. Thank you. Action! Gun! Stand at ease. Stand easy. Okay, you know the timings for the parade. It's in about 15 minutes. Don't go too far. We need you. Thank you very much. Squad, attention. Squad, dismiss. Thank you.
Grenade works.
Yep.
Okay. Type 36 grenade, standard grenade of the English Army. It's a progression from the number 5 grenade of the First World War, but basically it looks exactly the same. So the pin is a safety, the clip holds the pin that actually fires the grenade. So when you take the pin out,
How are you, sir?
You hold onto the clip. As the clip is released, this shaft comes down, hits the percussion cap at the bottom, sets the fuse off, and the grenade is exploded.
How long have you got?
Either have 4 seconds or 7 seconds, depending on the fuse you put in the grenade.
Okay.
I'll show you a fuse. They come in boxes. They're dated, and they also put on them the actual timing of the fuses. So each fuse is just a little. It's a silver nitrate fuse with a little percussion cap on the end.
Good stuff, isn't it? Eh?
Very simple.
4 seconds or 7?
4 seconds or 7. They learnt in the First World War, and if they put 7-second fuses on, the grenades came back.
Okay.
So they learnt that 4 seconds was much better.
Okay, So it shows these reenactment or living history people, they really know this stuff. I had no idea it's a 4 seconds delay fuse on a grenade. He was telling me that if it's 7 seconds, they found out that they would be thrown back at them by the Germans. So this gentleman's going to explain a little bit of information about the Vickers guns they've got on display.
Shoulder, arm.
Okay, that's fine.
Hi, I'm Bob Skinner. I'm the Company Quartermaster Sergeant for the 13th Battalion East Norfolk Home Guard. For any of you who don't know, is the Sheringham Home Guard and the surrounding area. And what I have here is just a few weapons used by the Home Guard during World War II. Our particular company had 15 Vickers guns in it, and it actually only had one M1917 Browning, which is generally more a common weapon to the Home Guard. Next to me here on the left-hand side here, we have a 303 Vickers machine gun. This is classically a First World War medium machine gun. It was belt-fed, had a belt of 250 rounds of ammunition. It would classically go through 2 belts a minute, so you're looking at about 500 rounds a minute. It's a water-cooled weapon, so i.e. there was the jacket on the front here would have been full of water. As the weapon was fired, the arrow would get hot, it would boil the water inside the jacket. That water would then condensate down a hose from the front of the jacket into the can down there, and the gun crew would then empty that water from that can through this tap here back into the jacket. In the gun spare parts kit, they'd even carry repaired kits for these jackets in case they ever got a hole in them, because obviously once they got a hole in the jacket and the water came out, it would then render the gun useless. This is a fluted jacket, it's got these lines running down the jacket, which is a classic example of the First World War Vickers machine gun. After about 1917, I believe the jackets went smooth and carried on like that till the end of the production lines of the Vickers. The Vickers were still being used in some cases in the British Army into the early 1960s. What we have behind us is an M1917 water-cooled Browning. Unfortunately our gun is a reproduction, but everything else is original. And these obviously entered service in 1917. It was the Americans' input into everything. It had a similar rate of fire to the Vickers. Again, had a water-cooled jacket, a 250 round belt. The difference was the Vickers .303 ammunition, and the M1917 Browning was 3006, as the Americans call it, or as we call it, .300 ammunition. These were in very common use for the Home Guard. The Americans shipped over thousands of these because obviously they had the new air-cooled 30 cals, and they didn't actually have a lot of the water-cooled ones in service. Say the tripod and the ammo box, the condenser, can and tube was all original. Unfortunately our gun is reproduction because we've just been unable to find a real one. On the table behind me, we've got another classic First World weapon. This is known as the Lewis gun. That has a circular mag on the top. That's an air-cooled. It's not water. This is an air. It's got fins inside this jacket. There's an air. As I said, this is an air-cooled weapon. It's known as a light machine gun rather than a medium machine gun. Although there's nothing very light about it. In the First War, I think they could have crews up to about 4 guys on these, carrying extra ammunition and so on. Obviously with the Home Guard in World War II, It was a bit of a different case. It's 303, so it's a classic British caliber ammunition again, and the rounds are loaded into the box like so, with a tool in the middle, and as the mags go down, sorry, as the mags go round, that's good. The rounds are all pushed out from here and fed into the actual weapon. To keep it running. They're a sensitive weapon. They don't like damage to the mag, so if they get damage around the edge of the magazines, they tend to jam. If they've got a good mag, they can really rock and roll quite well. That's the Lewis gun for you. A couple of other pieces of equipment used by the Home Guard. It's quite a rare item here. This is a 19 P14 rifle, and on this one we have an adapter with a cup discharger. This is for launching grenades, so you'd have like either a 36 grenade in the end of this with a base plate on it, or you'd have a purpose-made 68 grenade with a slide in the end, and you'd have a ballistite round in this, which was like a blank round, which made this cup a little bit like a mortar. And you could adjust the length you fired by opening or closing the vent below the actual grenade on the
Very clever.
Okay.
And simple.
Yeah, a very rare thing. You won't see very many of these around, mainly because these adapters just really don't exist anymore.
Thank you very much.
That's
Very good.
that's a bit of insight.
Learned a lot. Thank you.
All right.
That is for a tandem skydive with the Tigers, alright?
You like trucks? Look at this one.
Right, dress. Front rank. Front. Each rank count 2.
1, 2,
1,
2, 1, 2.
Attention company, without doubling, right face, forward and by file, march.
1, 1, 2, 1.
By file, left march.
1, 1, 1, 2, 1. 1, 1.
Company will halt. Company will counter march.
1, 2, 1.
Company halt. Front. Right dress. March. Company halt. Company right dress.
battalion formed and ready, sir.
Q. Make post. Battalion, prepare to open ranks. To the rear. Open. Order.
What are they doing?
March.
Why are some people going?
Order. Arms. Shot. Trail. Arms. Shoulder. Arms. Right shoulder shift. Arms. Shoulder. Arms. Support. Shoulder. Arms.
Why is that person?
Shoulder. Arms.
Why did that person
Guard against cavalry.
like that the whole time?
Guard. Shoulder. Arms.
All men present are accounted for, sir. Ammunition, caps, water, anything else.
Order. Arms. Parade. Rest.
Halt. Up.
Attention company. Order. Arms.
You were fine.
So, because I'll talk about that. Because I'm going to back. I'm going to get. I'm going to try and get them to come over.
I managed to find it. Something else had a nice young man, so I was fine. He looked after.
Got the US 4th Infantry unit here.
She's a party girl.
So we've now left the northern outfit and we're now down in the south, the 16th Tennessee Volunteer Infantry Regiment. No, it's mine. Seen that good old-fashioned southern hospitality, these lovely folk are going to play us a little tune or two.
You alright?
Yeah, I'll
Do you
move
want to
around.
test first or not?
No, it's fine, you go.
Do it,
I'll
alright.
move around as I can.
Okay. We want lots of guys joining in.
Everybody
Lots of joining in.
Yeah, everybody.
Okay, let us know when.
Yeah, go for it.
Right.
Fantastic.
Don't put the solo. I won't put the solo in. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, go for it.
There's a yellow rose, Texas. I'm about to see if the soldier knows her. The soldier only me. She cried so when I left her, like to broke my heart. And if I ever find her, we will never move apart. She's the sweetest rose of color this soldier ever knew. Her eyes, they shine like diamonds, they sparkle like dew. You may talk about your dearest mate, sing a Rosalie. The yellow rose of Texas is the only one for me.
No.
Oh, now I'm gonna find her, for my heart is full of woe. We sing this song together that we sang so long ago. We play the banjo gaily, and we sing the songs of yore. And the yellow rose of Texas will be mine forevermore. Oh, now I'm going southward, for my heart is full of woe. I'm going back to Georgia, gonna find my Uncle Joe. You may talk about your dearest mate, sing a Rosalie, but the hood of Texas ain't hell in Tennessee. But the gallant hood of Texas played hell in Tennessee.
Brilliant, love it.
I was looking at him.
Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
so much.
I was looking at him and I sang the wrong verse.
It might be a bit warmer now.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
No worries.
Find your video on YouTube.
Wasn't that special indeed? I absolutely love live music. Something unique about it. So we're going to enter the Napoleonic era camp, and a lady here is going to explain to us the herbalist position within, you know, the medical side of treating the troops. I thought it was quite interesting. So hello there, yeah, and can you explain what you did in the Napoleonic period?
So I would be the wife of an NCO or above, and my job is as a herbalist. It would be a tradition passed on through visual and oral demonstration from the female line. So I would have learned from my mum, my aunt or my grandmother. And I would use the herbs that were around us to help treat the soldiers for all sorts of things like athlete's foot, bad breath, insomnia, headaches, nausea, and all the sorts of things that commonly affect the soldier as they go along, to help them become a more effective fighting unit and to get them out as soon as possible.
Okay.
Here is some soap. These are handmade soaps. They knew they needed to be clean, And whilst they didn't take baths, because that used a lot of water and a lot of wood, they did use handmade soaps to help them keep clean. These soaps have got a little bit of oatmeal and lavender oil in them just to make them smell nice and to give them a little bit of a washing effect. We will also have things that would be quite common today, such as chamomile tea for those individuals that are finding it very hard to sleep. Or we would have things such as cloves, which are used for toothache and mouth ulcers. So they would suck on these to ease their pain. I would then use things like figs. Most people think of figs for constipation, but they would actually get used as a paste on ulcers, and it actually helps ulcers to heal a lot sooner than they would naturally.
What would we use for, say, a gunshot wound?
Well, a gunshot wound, you need to stop the bleeding first. So first of all, you would extricate out any material, foreign materials in there. I would use a lemon to help stop the bleeding, and then I would use something like lavender water because it has antiseptic quality.
Oh, okay, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you. So here we have a young corporal from the Royal Horse Artillery who's going to explain just a little bit about the daily rations of that time. Yeah, if you could explain them.
Yeah, so they would be issued an ounce of rice, a quarter of a pint of peas or lentils, their hardtack, bread if they were lucky, and then a pound and a half of beef or a pound of pork. They would get 3 days rations in one go. They would often stick it all in on the first day and just live for 2 days on their hardtack.
On the Weevil biscuits?
On the Weevil biscuits, yes. And then this is pressed tea.
This?
That is pressed tea, yeah. That wasn't part of their rations, but if they were lucky and they had a captain who wanted to keep his men happy, he might purchase a small block and they would grate it into their water on the kettle. And
any alcohol?
Oh yes, we do have our ration of
rum,
small ale. Water wasn't good to drink in those days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I just remembered we didn't get the bottles out. That would have water in it, but they would often add spirits in, clean the water. They thought. Shoulder to shoulder all the way around the circle. Not an easy life.
Where is it? Real butcher's weapon, that one. So this one is actually
So this gentleman is a man at arms, and what period would that be?
This period which we are doing here is the 15th century. But myself, as a man at arms, I would have a varying amount of armour. This can range from, as you can see here, with chainmail, in addition to using what I am putting on right now, which is plate armour. This is the more standard of what you would see during this time period. Mostly, if you had chainmail, it would be used to protect the more vulnerable aspects, which plate armour would not be protecting, such as the armpits, back of the leg, and the groin. For what I have today is I have a full set of legs, a chainmail shirt, my braces and gauntlets, which are here, you see, as well as a set of pauldrons. I will also go and retrieve my helmet, a little bit later and help tell you the different kinds of helmet and armour that are typically used during this time period. They would often either have to do this by themselves, or they would have a squire here to help them. For myself, I am not that rich, unfortunately, so I must do this myself.
You're climbing the noble ladder.
I am climbing up the social ladder. Well, in order to do that, I would have to prove myself in combat, either through various deeds, like protecting a noble who is higher ranked than me, having outstanding prowess in the battlefield, such as being able to be the first man over a rampart, or more about being able to take the enemy captain, or his general, or in even more, bold circumstances.
Taking?
Yes.
So you can earn some money from that?
Yes, quite often it was more common for a knight to be captured rather than killed.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that they were worth more alive than dead.
Okay.
There's the fact that if I can take, like you saw a bit earlier, if I can take him and bring him back to my lord, since he's got a decent amount of money, so I can ransom him back to his house or to his lord. And because he is just from the equipment that he has, it's quite clear he's valuable to that lord. And they appreciate him enough to either sponsor him to get that armour, or to be able to pay, or just get it from their own personal armoury. If they're able to do that and put that much effort in, they will pay a good amount of money for them. But at the same time, it all depends, because if they've insulted their lord, there's a chance that they might not, in which case then they'll more likely rot in a dungeon or be executed.
So here we have a man at arms during the War of the Roses. Yeah. Okay, so if I just ask you about your armour from that period.
Yep, okay. So I am wearing, it's about 5.5 stones, about 30 pounds worth of metal padding, and yeah, most of it is as accurate enough for the period. There's probably a few bits that may not be quite right, but you know, it's about comfort and being able to afford the kit as well.
Very expensive.
It depends. You can get stuff cheap. There's a good resale market for the stuff. It's easy enough to pick up stuff if you can snap it up in time. Second-hand stuff goes really fast because it doesn't really lose its value and everybody's after it. You can get custom-made stuff, but it's going to cost thousands. And there are places you can get kind of standard stuff. So, like a few of us have got these salets. It's called the Coventry Sallet, and it's kind of a fairly standard.
So it's not a basset then?
No. No, this is a English style sallet, and yeah, most of the stuff we've got tries to follow a certain this War of the Roses period, 15th century. Yeah. So yeah, these gauntlets have obviously this plating across here. Some guys have individual finger armour. So rather than just the whole ridged plate, you've got a bit of dexterity with that. But for me, I like having a bit more protection across the hands. And when you're holding something, you know, most of the soft bits are actually hidden away. You know, that's pretty well protected. Somebody's got to come right in underneath, and that's not going to be that easy to do.
So that's a single-handed sword?
This is a hand and a half.
Hand and a half?
It can be used one-handed, but it's a little bit too heavy be used comfortably, so it's mainly used hand and a half like this. But this is a kind of typical style for the period. This is it's about 1.3 kilos. So you don't want anything too heavy, because obviously I'm wearing a lot of armour and I don't want thing that's going to tire me out. People often pick up the swords and they go, oh, it's a lot lighter than I expected. Well, it's because we're not built like, not everybody's built like Schwarzenegger. We're not all Conan. So we're not going to carry a sword that weighs, you know, 4 or 5 kilos. There were people, especially in later periods in like Germany, when they had these big 6-foot swords, but they weren't quite as armoured. So yeah, I want something that I can fight with while I'm wearing all this. I don't want to be too weighted down and knackered by the end of it.
Yeah, of course. This sort of style. He's got like a very
we can, starting with the absolute basics, if you were a peasant and you were basically conscripted or just raised as a force, you might just have farming tools. So something like an axe, it's actually quite easy to maintain, because if the wooden part breaks, you just stick another shaft in there, and actually good bit of bludgeoning damage. These are actually quite lethal in armour, because you can just keep banging into somebody until they've had enough. This is another one that's really, really dangerous. If you've got a shield, this will come right over the top of the shield, and this could quite easily hit whoever's on the other side. So, yeah, again, a lot of bludgeoning damage. Quite lethal to face against. We've got a rondel. These are great for getting in under the weak spots. Straight in there.
So if I was going to go for you,
yeah, if you
under
want to,
here,
yeah,
I can't do that. Under there,
yeah,
under there, in the wrist,
yeah, in there,
there. Oh, yeah. Well,
so that would be. This would probably be, if I get you down on the ground, this will be then what I come in and finish you off with.
Wow. Scary, isn't it? If you end up on the ground, you could be in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
So this gentleman, also from the same period, is going to explain a little bit about his armour.
Yeah, so essentially the armour that I'm wearing now is a Milanese style armour. But back in the day in Milan, they were mass producing this armour, and it's the way it works is there's lots of plates layering over the top of steel plates, as you can see, and the idea is that you're absolutely encompassed in thick steel. Different to the Gothic armour of the period as well, which has got a lot more openings which would have chains to fill them up. I haven't got that actually, so you can actually see where my vulnerable spots are, and there's a reason for that. You can't really have much on the inside of the arms, because then you wouldn't be able to bend your arms. Behind the knees also, because if that was plated I wouldn't be able to move. So it's this sacrifice, this dynamic assessment of protection versus mobility, and obviously the more protection you have, the less mobile you are. So always you've got to have an appreciation for that, and as the armour develops in that way, so too do the weapons. And I know you've already been through some weapons before, but after this plated period, we've done away with shields, because the armour is so good, it kind of becomes the shield, and we go for two-handed weapons. Then we need to overcome that, and one of the weapons of choice, which wouldn't be very friendly to a knight, is just something as simple as this kind of pick. Unlike the axe, which is like a tool that got used for warfare, the little pick there, this is absolutely just a blunt weapon either for hammering into the armour and defeating it that way, or you can imagine if that was this has been rounded for reenactment, but that would be a sharp edge, and you can imagine the force behind that. If that was to come down and be brought into an armour, it just essentially becomes a really horrendous tin opener.
Oh, it would be.
Indeed.
It's all right.
Yeah, it gets a bit hot, so what I tend to do is I walk around for as long as I can, and then I need to rest up before the fight.
Of course.
Because it's quite hot in there actually. So this is just a bit of self-maintenance of just cooling down, taking on water, and then when there's about 20 minutes to go, get it all back on again and then push through and do, you know, have the energy for a battle. So you've got to kind of manage it, otherwise, you know, you can get to the point where it's time for the fight and you're already tired just through wearing it. But I'm wearing it more and more just to try and build up an endurance to it so that I can wear it for longer. Which
is what they would have done.
Yeah, I think so, sure. Because actually, especially if you consider the nobility, the children, the young princes, the young nobles, they'd be wearing child armour from a young age. By the time they're adults, they're fully, you know, conversant with it all, and it's like a second skin to them, really.
See you, priest. Hands up.
Yeah. See that?
It's in 13 days, you big old liar. You. Look at the guy with all the bands on his face.
Can I have the fat one's autograph? Can I have the fat one's autograph, please?
So here we are with the Poor Knights of Christ stand. And we're going to get some background into the actual, is it 12th century?
We are at our time frame is 1200 to 1250.
1200 to 1250. Okay.
Right, sorry there. So basically, when you just spoke there before about literally post the Norman Conquest 1066. So the People's Crusade, which was the first crusade, literally took place 1097, where literally Pope Urban II had literally had a call to arms. Basically, he wanted a mass force to go out to the Holy Land to try and retake Jerusalem. And so it took 3 years literally as a long foot march to get out there, and then once they basically got there, they took Jerusalem within a few months, and it was basically safe and sound then for all Christian pilgrims.
So this would be the first crusade?
The first crusade, the People's Crusade it was called.
And it was about, was it 7 or 9 or 10, something like that?
Again, it's very, you know, it's not very broadly put out, but around 7 to 9, you're correct.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So,
and some of those were quite small, but they were still a crusade in their own right.
So can you explain about this religious...
Sure, right, okay. So each night, when he was stationed literally from his commandery or his preceptory, or basically leaving Jerusalem walls, the guys would be out on pilgrim roads protecting. You would have a retinue of guys that were literally acting as a medieval version of a police force. So what you're looking at the moment is basically one night, if you would call it kit and equipment, that he would take into the field. Prayer was an absolute fundamental part of being a Knight Templar. So here you've got a lectern with rosary, obviously with Christ.
So this would be a campaign lectern. So
Indeed. It was quite portable. Obviously, as you can see down there, you've got your kneeling pad. It would be. There is your kneeling pad. You would have your prayer. Obviously, there is the altar in front as well. There is obviously Christ to the cross. The symbolisation of the 3 crosses: poverty, chastity, obedience, which is a big thing for the Templars. Before they took any kind of combatancy role, they took the monastic rules of a modern monk at the time. So again, with the remit of poverty, chastity, obedience, and that stemmed over into Templarism itself. So before you became a warrior per se, you became a monastic monk. So you used prayer as a form of as much as my chainmail is a protection. Obviously, your purity to God was an extra form.
Yeah, go for it.
No, so personally myself, if I could time travel and there was such a thing, I would love to go back to the Jacob's Ford. So basically, it was a Templar built castle. When I say built, it was partly built when it was put under siege by Salah ad-Din. Basically, it might sound a bit strange by saying I would like to go back to that time period, to know that every person on that, literally over that campaign, was put to the sword. It's about the spirituality of standing side by side with your brothers, and to be honest, for me, knowing people might think it's a bit crazy, but knowing that you're going back to physically die, but it would be that brotherhood, that because you would not get that anywhere else.
Is this we're talking about Saladin the Great?
Yes, indeed.
So we're talking
indeed.
Richard the First?
Yes, literally, all the same time remit, yes,
1190, is it?
Indeed, really the tail end of the Crusades, yes, indeed.
So now we've got a gentleman here who's living history with the Knights Hospitaliers, and he's going to explain a little bit about the history and the clothing.
So, Hospitalier Knight, the Knight of St John, started off as a hospital inside Jerusalem about 100 years before the Templars became established. They didn't have a knightly order at the point. It was a hospital to all religions using the Pilgrim Trail. We're the only order to also have nuns or knight sister.
Oh, okay.
So, hospitalia, or nursing sister as it's now called. But then when the Crusades started getting established after the first Crusade, then the knightly order of hospitalia started building up. So we started fighting as well as caring for the sick.
So you had a dual purpose?
Yeah. And we'd fight alongside the Templars as a knightly order, and then everybody would end up in a outpost like this. So you'll have Templars, you'll have Hospitalia, other knightly orders and just Crusaders. And our job was really to look after the health welfare of that unit. A bit like the Army Medical Corps now.
Okay.
Hospitalia, the word Hospitalia is still being used. So if you look into the Ukraine war at the moment, their medics are called Hospitaliers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So it's still very much a word that's being used. They're now the St John Ambulance, so they're still going quite strong, very strong in fact, all over the world.
So can you tell me a little bit about the equipment we've got here?
Yeah, so we've got a chainmail coif. Right, this is butted chainmail, so one of the cheaper variants.
Oh, okay.
Where a coif, you've got your surcoat with your knightly order cross on there, what people refer to as the Maltese cross. And because I'm a fighting knight, I would wear several bits of equipment. So I've got a shield on my back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've got a dagger. I've got a war axe. Now that would be your primary weapon. So it would be an axe or a war hammer, something like that. This would be your primary weapon. You wouldn't use this first off because your sword is equivalent of a Lamborghini,
Okay.
so you don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
So you'd literally use these first, and you'd fight in a rank of your own order, in ranks of 3.
Okay.
So the first rank would do about 10-15 minutes of fighting, and then there'd be a signal, and then the second rank would pull the first rank back, so I'd be pulled back by my brother knight, and he would then take over.
So you'd have
And
a
it's
very
rotated.
close. Sorry, you'd have a very close bond with your brother knight.
Oh yeah, yeah, very close bond.
I understand.
And with the other knightly orders as well.
Yeah.
The Templars were very, very, very religious. All the rest of the orders were religious. However, we were formed before the Templars, so we were already established. The hospital in Jerusalem is still functioning as a hospital for pilgrims, and it's still in place.
Anyway, thank you very much for that.
No worries.
That's really interesting.
Well, I've downloaded my phone at least now. One step closer.
I liked it when it wasn't you. Oh.
That rally where over 600 women gathered to talk to each other, to meet up and to celebrate the work of the Women's Land Army. The girls took
here as well. They're going to join in because they're a little bit too scared to jump today. And I'm saying that on stage, not off because he's bigger than me. And we need some people to come and join in. So what I'm going to do is, if you go and pick 6 people, or you can nominate someone to go and pick 6 people, because I can sort of, well, I don't want to imagine how it come about actually, but is there one member in particular that the names come from?
No, the title Soil Cinderellas actually comes from the war. The women were known as the Cinderellas of the services, so they were known as the Cinderellas of the soil, so that's where it's come from.
And I was going to turn it the other way. Right, so look, there's little team talks going on and everything already. There's like little pep talks and it's all go. Are you on scoring, Rebecca?
We've had to substitute the potatoes for beanbags.
Okay.
You don't want to waste food.
So, how do we play this game?
Right, so we're going to come forward, stand in the circle, throw the bean bag from this circle into the basket at the bottom here, and you get a point for every bean bag you get in the basket.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie, if the soldiers miss, this is gonna be so funny. Like, that's why they jump out of aeroplanes and not riflemen. Right. So, I've got some music as well, but we'll go off your instructions if you want. So, are we doing that on your marks, get set, go, or are we going to 1, 2, 3?
I'm going to blow my whistle.
Blow the whistle. You go for it. Hold on. Are you?
They get to the circles first.
All right.
They're lining up first.
Don't want no cheating.
Everyone throws 4 bean bags. Yep. You throw them, you go to the basket, you pick them up, you bring them back, and the next person goes forward and steps into the circle. Everybody ready? Everybody understand? Everybody's encouraged to start cheering for your teams. So come on, let's hear some cheers. Come on, Reds, come on, Yellows, come on, Greens.
Here we go.
Oh, get there, get there.
Come on, everybody! Clap your hands! Oh, you're looking good! I'm gonna
Right, come on, Tiger.
It won't take long. We're gonna do the twist, and it goes like this.
Hey!
Unlucky there in the green team.
Right, where are we at on points? Do we know? The winning. 4. They've only got 4 over this side. Rebecca, I hope you're keeping a tight eye.
They're all very honest land girls. Absolutely no cheating going on whatsoever.
They'll do anything for a pair of tights. Stockings.
Someone's trying to take the cameraman out.
Yeah, just aim for the cameraman. You might get it on target.
I'm loving that they're testing for the wind direction. Good try there, Evie. Got a master beanbag chucker here in the green. Oh, so close there, red team. Two for the green team.
2 for the green team.
Okay. If you can click the baskets in. Marvellous. So the next game we're going to be playing is called Down the Rabbit Hole. So you saw yourself out. Enjoying it yourself. There's always one that has to do it differently. Yeah, we're managing this. Yes. Right. Are we ready? Ready with your circles? Yep. Ready? Steady.
Right, come on, give them some cheers. Come on, cheer them on. Oh, it's going to be quite close, I think.
It is.
Oh, here we go. No pressure, Reds.
Steady.
Here we go. Oh, look, no one likes to see that, Yellows. thing that's getting me is the faces. I'm not sure if it's concentration or trap wind, to be honest. Family show. That was yellows, that was real enthusiasm there. That shouldn't be a point on its own.
Round rack to start with, and you have to squeeze it out at the end. So the idea is you load your sponge up in the bucket and you pass the sponge over your head and through your legs and over your head and through the legs, and the last person squeezes it out into the bucket.
Here we go then.
Good moves coming in. The trick is to load the sponges up really well.
I think this is the biggest wash some of them have had all weekend, I'm not going to lie.
Oh. Cheating going on here in the reds again.
Come on, bit of encouragement for them. Uh-oh, that was a lot of water from the yellow team being dropped there. I think I had a weed in it by now.
My money's on the green team.
Oh, green at the moment. Come on, greens. Oh, there we go. Stop where you are.
We've got yellow team in second place and red team bringing up the rear.
Yeah,
There was some
well
good sponge
done.
hand.
So very well done to all of our teams. Now I think we've got one more, haven't we?
We've got tug of war.
A tug of war. Nice.
We might just need to have a couple of minutes just to kind of get together. I think we've got green a bit nearer. Can we not move down the rope a little bit, green? No, that way. That way. Move down the rope that way so that your green chap is on your green marker. Lovely. Charlie, do you want to come forward a little bit so you're on your red marker? That looks about even. On your marks. Come on, Langus.
Come on, cheer them on, come on. Oh, this is tight, this one.
Come on, Langus.
Come on.
We've got some rowing going on here.
Oh.
Go on, green team. Go on, red team.
Come on, Reds, put it back. Go on, Reds, they're struggling. They're getting tired. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. Very well done.
So we got a gentleman here who's living history of the Polish uprising in World War II in Warsaw.
So I'm Chris, I'm from the Pastime Strollers. Our camp here is to do with the Warsaw Uprising, or the Polish Uprising. During the first stages of the war, when the Germans invaded Poland, we didn't actually have many weapons. So what we used to do is to hand make them. So we've got a homemade Sten gun down here. So all that'll be is being made out of tubing, put inside. They'll try and get the regular bullets. Some of them will be 8mm or even 9mm. Make it fit, and just with like normal bolts, as you can see. And that's how they made their first weapons. And then we'll take all the German equipment, Polish, French.
So you just basically put your own insignia on the...
Straight away, we have to put the red and white on. It originally started on the right arm. After they did quite a few big battles, they decided to put it to the left, so it's closest to the heart.
Can I have a look at the badge?
Of course, yeah. So this denotes I'm like a leader, a troop leader. So I'd have a couple of troops, up to 12, and they would send us on our own little missions throughout the streets. Normal ones would be one. Like a lance corporal, yes.
Okay.
It's like a little display of just what you would have probably seen just from like a corner when it was ready for battle. So this is what we've been told in part of the research. This is a Soviet-Polish uniform. Because during the World War II, some Polish went to work with the Russians. This denotes he was a colonel, and we're still doing some research. Suppose this one here is denoting he was injured in battle, but these are all real, to mark what battles he's been in. This is the sort of hat he would have worn. The only difference is this is actually an NCO's one, because trying to find the correct one for the correct period, it takes a lot of time to try and get it. Originally this would be blue, they'd have another silver peak on a peak.
Peak cap, yeah.
Yep, and you'd have another silver cross, denotes he was being an officer. This will be on the German troops, so it'll all be rolled up. So this is what we would have taken, just straight out the stores.
Take their equipment.
Take their equipment, didn't matter what it was, if we could use it, we were going to try our best to take it and use it.
How long have you been doing living history?
I would like her to jump. She climbs on the front of my motorcycle with goggles. So she's quite used to wind. I am going to take a paragliding to see where she'll be using the altitude. If she
I'll
gets on
mainly
with
do
that,
Victorian,
she will, she's pretty
but
chill.
this is just a small part of our display, and this is the first year it's been out. So we're getting some Polish history come back, and they're saying this is just amazing for them.
Alright, it's my bayonet, mate, don't worry about it. Right, next, he's definitely dead. I'm gone! I'm gone! Right! Yes. Right! Very good. Right! Oh, yes, 3 for 3. Very good, very good. Next up.
Charles, well done. Quick.
I'm gone! I'm gone! Right! 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 Fight! 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 Maybe a little bit closer, my friend. Fight! Again. Fight! Okay, you ready? Fight! Okay, not bad, but you should be bringing it right back to the front, okay? Fight! Again. So we're moving it around. Hold that still. Fight! Very good, right.
Do that again.
I'll do that. Fight! 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 Yeah. Fight! Very good. And for a jab. So, seize the rifle by the collar. Right, okay, very good, very good. Right, next up, next up. Show them how it works. Yeah, cool, next up. On guard! On there! Forward. Fight! Good, up. Fight! Fight! A bit more aggression, please, Zach. And down. Fight! Very good, that much better. Off you go, Charles. On guard! On guard! Good. Fight! Very good. Fight! Fight! And again, fight! Very good. Fight! Very good, that last one. Fight! 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 Good. Tear gas. He always slopes his shoulders. On guard! On guard! Fight! 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 Golf clap. Okay, so one of the techniques to fight it. Impact. Traffic moves very slowly. Yes, we're over 20 people restores what's
Ladies and gentlemen, he's not even kidding. I've seen him do it. His elves are weird. So, without further ado, let's begin the nice warm-up stage. So here the knights will pair off and we'll just start getting their muscles nice and warm, ready for the final combat. With me, we have the great and glorious and honourable Lord Dale, who is as we can. Where the idea of the buckler is that you cover your forehand and use that as your primary form of defence while attacking with a one-handed sword, whereas Dale, opposing that, has a long sword, two-handed weapon designed to command your sword and defence. You saw a half-sword technique there, where you actually reverse the sword round for attacking, killing blow, known as the Morehouse strike. Oh dear. We had a bit of cuddling already, have we? Oh, he's taking the sword. Oh dear! Oh, oi, 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 oi! You pair! You're just warming up, alright? You're just warming up. There's time for blood. We've got first aiders around. Calm yourselves down. Plenty of time for that later. Sorry, yes. As you were, gentlemen, please carry on fight. Yes, boo him! Boo him! Look on his eye! Let him know what you think.
Any of you got caps?
Yes. Thank you for that wonderfully characterful demonstration, David. So, all the knights are now warmed up and ready to go. Is that correct, lads? Okay then, so, first combat for 1v1. We have, coming up right now, David Lloyd versus the evil David Kirby. Hang on, you know what? I got that wrong. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired. First up, we're going to try that again. First up, we have Sir Thomas Harris. Cheer for Thomas Harris. Tom Harris. Yay! The handsome Thomas Harris. Versus his opponent, Sir Elliot, the new and green. There is some green too. He's wearing green. It's not just a comment on his experience or his expertise. So, fighters, when you're ready, weapons up, visors down, begin your fight. We like to use our techniques to demonstrate that even the sharpest weapons can be used as a blunt object as enough of the strength is used. The audience is... Should we let him live? Or should we get him die? People have spoken, brother. I don't think he can hear. See? They know who you are. They got your number. Fighters, are you ready? All right, keep yourself back. Fighters, are you ready? I'm guessing not, because you're having a little cuddle. You're going for a kiss, you know. I've seen him do it. Dave, you're brave. Not you. Dave's brave. Fighters, are you ready? Risers down, weapons up. Begin your fight. Now, everybody, clear cheese. Please cheer. For Sir David Lloyd. You know, you just can't get your words out.
I blame the Philistine tonight.
Yeah. Oh! Oh, don't stand for it. Cheers for Sir David Lloyd, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring him back. Alright, good go, I think that's for sure. Dave, stand for it, Dave. Oh dear, oh no. Oh, he's been given a kick. Oh dear. Oh, you cheeky brother. Oh. So, he is digging holes, isn't he? So I think that kind of determines the true and honourable victory of that fight being Sir David Lloyd! With no outside health whatsoever. We'll have to edit the video on that one. And the final fight, my personal favourite. We have a chant for Sir Dale. Let's have a cheer for Sir Dale. Oh, we've got a bit of advanced blow on the chest. So a little word about the armour, ladies and gentlemen. Although obviously wearing full protective armour and we don't like to get massively hurt, we do feel the attacks and we like to show how those attacks happen. Oh, another tissel! It makes an interesting fight when both fighters are far better at disarming their opponent than actually fighting themselves. Okay, so it's one each. I guess we're going best out of three. Fighters, when you are ready, begin your fight. You've got a fan base there. He's doing an autograph afterwards. Go on, get in there. Oh, vicious strikes. Oh, it's cuddle time. Who knows what sweet secrets they were exchanging at such close range. Can you guys please try and keep a hold on your weapon? No archery, that's... Oh, they actually exchanged weapons because they couldn't actually kill each other properly. Oh, and they're making up as friends. Oh, isn't that nice? Shut up. Chief, your favourite fighter, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, leg off! Fantastic! Oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? He's going to let him get up. He's going to kill him. No, he's going for the throat shot. He yields? Is that how fight to the death works? You're not taking ransom, you know. Oh my god. I think I'm going to have a little tear. They're scrapping again. My god, these guys have got some stamina. I've been knackered at this point. Yeah, they're milking the crowd, aren't they? They're just milking the crowd. Come on, let's have another cheer. Let's get them going through the paces again. Oh dear, I think they're getting a bit tired.
Keep going, come on.
And finish him off. He's had his 15 minutes. Ooh. Go on, do for him. Somebody win. Go on. No, hook it again. Okay, let's call that a draw. I think we're good. You guys, finish him off. Go on, give him a kick in. Yay! To the righteous, Sir David Kirkby. Time for the final section, which is your, get ready for this because I've teed you guys up already, your elimination! There we go, that's the stuff. Alright, so have we got the favourite weapons? Yes, of course they have. Right, when you're ready. Visors down. Weapons up. I'm going to have to wait for that tart in the corner to finish talking. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Okay. Fighters! Weapons up. Visor down. Sorry, it's, he made a rather immature comment about his weapon. Very immature, swinging them around like that. Fighters, begin your combat! Oh, we've got a great demonstration of a poleaxe here. Great big heavy weapon. You can see the forces going into those attacks from under the shield. That's a very hard weapon to control. Oh, so Thomas is down. He's always on his knee, he's not dead. Why does it always come down to hugging? And that's one down. Sir Evans down, executed. Evil David Kirkby's also down and executed. Elliot's getting a lot of notches on his belt tonight, isn't he?